Throwing weapons were a class of weapon available in Morrowind, which did not return in the 2 more recent Elder Scrolls games. I propose bringing them back and expanding upon them, either putting them back under the purview of the marksman skill or giving them a skill of their own. I think that they would be more popular now that the old dice roll hit system has been done away with. They would differ from archery in that they only require one hand to use, meaning you could throw weapons with one hand and wield another weapon in the other. While they don't require a bow to use, they are heavier than arrows and don't fly as far either. While more expensive than arrows, they would have a 100% reusability rate, assuming you pick them all up, that is. Similar to archery, they would benefit from the extra headshot damage, but would not be subject to the limited draw time of bows as mentioned in the previous video. Different types of throwing weapon would also have different ranges, fire rates, damage values, and damage types. For cutting damage, there are throwing stars, throwing knives, and throwing axes. For pierce damage, there are darts and javelins. Blunt throwing weapons are a little trickier. Throwing stones could be added, at least as a tutorial weapon, but these aren't good enough to be used as a battlefield weapon, so we'll add a sling as well. Later on, these would be replaced by metal sling bullets. The boomerang offers blunt damage in the form of a throwing weapon, but may be out of place in the Elder Scrolls universe. Carrying multiple boomerangs around to throw seems a little silly, so we will take advantage of the boomerang's famous gimmick of returning to its owner, which also serves to differentiate it from the other throwing weapons. Bowler deal less damage than the other heavy throwing weapons, but come with the benefit of having more stopping power, staggering or knocking back enemies. These weapons can also have attribute scaling, as mentioned in the previous video, like this. In addition to holding the attack button to ready the weapon and releasing it to throw it, throwing weapons could also have the added option of just tapping the attack button to do a melee attack, for if the user is within melee range or wishes to conserve their throwing weapons. After their inclusion in one of the Fallout 4 DLCs, caltrops and bear traps could be included for use by the player. Bear traps for placing in the path of an enemy to soften them up for an attack, and caltrops to scatter on the ground to slow or cripple pursuers and facilitate easier disengagement from combat, allowing the player to run away. Each of these weapons would be crafted in the smithing menu by selecting weapons, thrown, type, and the material. To pad out the skill a bit more, single-use throwing bombs could be added. Elemental bombs made from Atronach salts would give non-magic users another option for dealing fire, frost, and shock damage. Flash bombs, while doing no damage, would stun enemies in an area and facilitate easier escape for stealthy or otherwise squishy characters. Custom poison smoke bombs would allow any potion or poison to be turned into a small area of effect weapon or support item, but with lower efficacy than if it had just been used on a single target. These would be crafted at alchemy benches using the alchemy skill. With a small crafting menu overhaul, the player would be able to choose whether they make a potion, a poison, or a bomb with their ingredients, allowing them more freedom in which potion effects they could apply to themselves or to NPCs. Most bombs would have a fixed recipe, much like other weapons, and for custom smoke bombs, the player would select which potion or poison from their inventory to use. The noise of these small explosions from each of these bombs would also draw the attention of enemies to the location they were thrown. Some perks for the skill that don't just make the damage number go up could be to increase the attack speed, the throw distance, accuracy, to add a throwing arc, to throw multiple small weapons at once, and to increase the size of bomb explosions. Anyway, I think that's about all for now. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments below.